So, I don't know if I'll be able to, I just thought it might be worth thinking about where gangsterism came from and the glorification of gangsterism, right? Because it gets blamed on the movies and it gets blamed, right? Gets blamed on these horrors. Hang on. There's 10. So, I often see, this whole, the glorification of murder and war and fighting, and how, the movies are responsible, or, games are responsible. What about the royal family? I think they're responsible, don't you? I mean, one of the first things we get taught at school, after our maths and our English, once we start getting into a bit of learning, once we know how to, compute everything, we get taught about their wars and how great they are. Not the wars are, but how great the royals are and their wars. And they're freeing people and civilising people. And then all of our education is built up on the top of that. Our psychology is built on that. The acceptance of murder by our rulers. Of course, obviously, now we've got democracy. But again, if you do a bit of research, you find the 10 principles of governance. What's that? It's the building blocks of modern government. What does it say? Oh, we're not informed enough. The layman, the stupid people, us lot, could not be left with any responsibilities of society because we are not responsible enough. So it clearly states there must appear to be a democracy while there is not one. No democracy, but it must look like it. Where does gangsterism come from? Where does negative mental health come from? Where do suppressed emotions for generations come from? The murder of our ancestors. So, I encourage people to take a little look inside. Find out where you might be judging people, where you feel you might not want to. Maybe you like judging people. In which case, fuck, I've got nothing to say to you. Crack on, man. But if you actually give a shit, if there's any motivation within you to care about the future, go have a look. Build on it. But there's a reason for that. It's not to just then do nothing. It's to then have the power of self-awareness, to have the power of self-choice, and then the power to implement that. We're not going to make any change if everyone's still living under a hierarchical mindset, are we? We're going to keep looking for a leader. That ain't no good to no one. A leader ain't going to make no real change. If the people in power don't like the change that's being offered, chop the head off the snake, snake falls limp, movement's dead. We all need to be leaders. We all need to be leaders. Let's stand side by side and let's lead each other through this bullshit. Right, results are coming out of America. 0.03 chance of dying of COVID. This is like the flu, they're saying. And that's not government officials. That is the testing centres releasing their information straight to the internet because they don't trust the government. Why don't they trust the government? Because the government have been putting pressures on them to put COVID as an importance on the death certificates. Not only that, but to even make it look like it was the cause when it clearly fucking wasn't. So, I'd like to know if that's happening in England. I'd like to know if, like in America and other places around the world, there are hospitals that are shutting down floors because people aren't coming in. In America, they're seeing a rise of fucking home abuse under the whole category. Why are we on lockdown? Why is there a shortage of masks anywhere when the government raised £53 million in January? £53 million in January. How is there a problem? So, even if COVID is a killer, like big killer, not like flu killer, people die every year from flu. It's harsh. Sure, if you're scared of death and you don't see life as a bigger experience, death is a really big deal, and I know losing people is a big deal. I've lost my mum, I've lost my granddad, and then I lost my dad last year. My mum and my granddad were the biggest losses I've ever conceived in my life. They were huge components to my whole being. Yeah, my dad was as well, but we had a very different relationship. He taught me lessons he didn't know he was teaching me. I had to look for them and learn. But my mum and my granddad taught me. So anyway, there's much we can do. We can get up, we can work out, and we can leave our brain alone, and we can pretend we're healthy. Or we can do what I was doing. Working out my mind and my emotions and not properly working on my body and pretending I was fully healthy. So, if thy preach, thy shall practice. So, I'm going to do my sit-ups. You don't need to see it all. My sit-ups are easy, aren't they? Let's face it, I struggle with the push-ups. I thought I'd just bash them out. So, blindly following rules has gotten us to bad situations. Do we just blindly follow more and just go to more bad situations? I don't remember any of my friends liking the government. I don't remember any of my friends being voters. I don't remember any of my friends having love for the system. But what I do remember is when I started speaking out, how quickly you all tried to silence me. Now that in itself shows the effect of the school system, of the colonial mindset, that you would feel bad. Like, I don't need to break that down, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm gonna go do my sit-ups. Peace.